What if I told you that one of the most influential success authors of all time wrote a book so controversial that it was hidden away for over 70 years? Welcome to Self-Made Zone. I'm your host, and today we're diving deep into Napoleon Hill's most daring work, Outwitting the Devil. Before we begin this journey, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications to join our community of success-minded individuals. Also, if you find value in this video, smash that like button and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Now let's get started. Napoleon Hill's biography. To understand the magnitude of Outwitting the Devil, we must first understand the man behind it. Napoleon Hill was born on October 26, 1883, in a small one-room cabin in rural Wise County, Virginia. His early life was marked by tragedy. His mother died when he was just 9 years old. His father remarried, and his stepmother, Martha, would become one of the most influential figures in his life. Rather than treating him as an unwanted stepchild, she believed in his potential and encouraged his intellectual curiosity. By age 13, Napoleon had begun writing as a mountain reporter for small local newspapers. His talent for writing opened doors, eventually leading him to attend law school. However, Hill's life would take a dramatic turn in 1908 when, as a young journalist, he was assigned to interview the industrialist Andrew Carnegie, one of the wealthiest men in the world at that time. This interview, scheduled to last only an hour, extended into 3 days. During this time, Carnegie shared his belief that the formula for success could be precisely defined and made available to people who did not have access to formal education or financial resources. Carnegie challenged Hill to interview over 500 successful people, study their habits, and compile a philosophy of success. This began a 20-year journey where Hill would interview titans of industry, inventors, and political leaders, including Thomas Edison, Alexander Graham Bell, Henry Ford, Theodore Roosevelt, and many others. The culmination of this research was his 1937 masterpiece, Think and Grow Rich, which has sold over 100 million copies worldwide and remains one of the best-selling self-help books of all time. What many don't know is that in 1938, just after the massive success of Think and Grow Rich, Hill completed another manuscript, Outwitting the Devil. However, this book was considered so controversial by his wife and publishers that it remained unpublished until 2011, a full 72 years after it was written and long after Hill's death in 1970. Why was it so controversial? Let's find out. Introduction to Outwitting the Devil. Outwitting the Devil is unlike any other self-help book of its time. Written during the Great Depression, it offers a unique perspective on why so many people fail to achieve success and happiness. In this remarkable work, Hill claims to interview the devil himself, a personification of negative influence in our lives. Through this literary device, Hill explores what he calls drifting, the state of moving through life without purpose or direction, and how to escape the devil's grasp to achieve personal success. The book was shocking for its time because it challenged conventional religious thinking and institutional authority. Hill portrayed the devil claiming influence over educational systems, religious institutions, and even parenting methods. In the 1930s America, these were explosive ideas. When his wife read the manuscript, she feared it would destroy Hill's reputation and possibly lead to persecution from religious groups. So the manuscript was locked away until Hill's family finally permitted its publication in 2011, with annotations by Sharon Lechter. Now let's examine the key concepts and wisdom found in this long-hidden manuscript. The concept of drifting at the core of Outwitting the Devil is the concept of drifting. According to Hill, drifters are people who allow themselves to be influenced by circumstances rather than taking control of their own minds and destiny. Show imagery of people being carried by a current or floating aimlessly. In the book, the devil confesses that his primary method of controlling people is to make them drift through life without purpose. He says, and I quote, "I enter the mind of a person through thoughts which he creates or permits others to create in his mind." Hill identifies several key characteristics of drifters. First, drifters have no definite purpose in life. They lack clear goals and a burning desire to achieve them. Second, drifters procrastinate. They constantly postpone action, often waiting for the perfect time that never arrives. Third, Drifters lack persistence. They give up at the first sign of defeat, unable to push through obstacles. Fourth, drifters have closed minds. They reject new ideas and cling to outdated beliefs. Fifth, drifters fear failure and criticism. This fear paralyzes them, preventing necessary risk-taking. Sixth, drifters lack a definite major purpose. Without this central organizing principle, they scatter their energies across too many pursuits. Finally, drifters fail to control their habits, particularly regarding health, finances, and personal development. Hill makes a startling claim. Approximately 98% of people are drifters, controlled by what he calls the law of hypnotic rhythm. Once negative habits are established, they become almost automatic, pulling us along a predetermined path unless we consciously break free. The first step to breaking free from drifting is awareness. By recognizing these patterns in our own lives, we can begin the process of taking back control. Definite purpose and definiteness of decision. The antidote to drifting, according to Hill, is developing what he calls a definite major purpose and making decisions with definiteness. Hill explains that a definite major purpose is the single goal to which you commit yourself completely. It becomes the organizing principle for your entire life. Without this, you're like a ship without a rudder, at the mercy of any current. In the book, Hill makes the devil confess that he cannot control people who have discovered their definite major purpose. The devil says, "My control over a person is ended when that person discovers the power of his own mind through definite purpose." What makes a purpose definite? Hill outlines several key elements. It must be specific and clearly defined. Vague wishes like, "I want to be successful," don't qualify. It must be backed by a burning desire to achieve it. Lukewarm interest isn't enough. It must be accompanied by continuous action toward its attainment. Purpose without action is merely a dream. It must be persistent, enduring setbacks and delays without surrender. Alongside definite purpose, Hill emphasizes the importance of definiteness of decision. The ability to make quick, firm decisions and stick to them is critical for success. Indecision and procrastination are tools the devil uses to maintain control. Hill writes that successful people make decisions promptly and change them slowly, if at all. Unsuccessful people make decisions slowly and change them frequently. To develop this skill, Hill suggests starting with small decisions and building up. Each firm decision strengthens your decision muscles, making future choices easier. Remember, even a wrong decision is better than no decision at all. At least with a wrong decision, you learn something valuable for the future. The 7 Principles of Freedom. In Outwitting the Devil, Hill presents 7 principles that can free a person from the grip of negative influences and set them on the path to success. The first principle is definiteness of purpose. We've already discussed this in detail, but it bears repeating. A clear, definite purpose is the starting point of all achievement. The second principle is mastery over self. This means developing self-discipline and controlling your thoughts and emotions rather than being controlled by them. Hill writes, "Self-discipline begins with the mastery of thought. If you do not control your thoughts, you cannot control your needs." The third principle is learning from adversity. Hill believed that every adversity carries the seed of an equivalent or greater benefit. Those who can find the lesson in failure and disappointment gain strength and wisdom that success alone could never provide. The fourth principle is controlling environmental influence. We must consciously choose the people, information, and environments that shape our thinking. As Hill notes, you are where you are and what you are because of your established habits, thoughts, and deeds. The fifth principle is time, specifically how we use our time. Hill emphasizes that time is our most precious resource, and successful people use it deliberately rather than letting it slip away on non-productive activities. The sixth principle is harmony. This refers to cooperation between the conscious and subconscious mind and between ourselves and others. When all parts of ourselves are aligned toward our purpose, and when we work in harmony with others, our power is multiplied. The seventh and final principle is caution. Hill warns against the dangers of negative emotions like fear, greed, anger, and jealousy. We must be cautious about what we allow into our minds, as these emotions can sabotage our success. Together, these 7 principles form a comprehensive philosophy for freeing oneself from negative influences and achieving personal freedom and success. The habit of doing more than paid for, one of the most powerful concepts in Outwitting the Devil, is what Hill calls the habit of doing more than paid for. In the book, Hill makes the devil confess that he cannot control people who adopt this habit. The devil says, "I fear the person who does more than he is paid for, because this type of person is generally on his way to the creation of a definite purpose." Why is this habit so powerful? Hill explains that when you consistently deliver more value than you're paid for, several important things happen. First, you develop a reputation for excellence that sets you apart from the masses. Second, you build skills and capabilities beyond what your current role requires, preparing you for bigger opportunities. Third, you cultivate a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity, which attracts more opportunities. Fourth, you gain the satisfaction and confidence that comes from knowing you're giving your best. Hill believed this habit was so important that he included it in what he called the QQS formula: quality of service, quantity of service, and spirit of service. The most successful people excel in all 3 areas, not just doing good work in sufficient amounts, but doing it with a positive, helpful attitude. To develop this habit, start small. Look for opportunities to add just 10% more value in your current role. This might mean coming in a bit earlier, staying a bit later, finding ways to improve processes, or simply bringing more enthusiasm to your tasks. Over time, this small extra effort compounds into significant results. Fear and how to overcome it. According to Hill, fear is the primary tool the devil uses to control humanity. In Outwitting the Devil, he identifies 6 basic fears that hold people back. These 6 fears are the fear of poverty, the fear of criticism, the fear of ill health, the fear of loss of love, the fear of old age. The fear of death. Hill argues that these fears are not innate but learned, and they can be unlearned. The devil in Hill's narrative confesses, fear is a state of mind, and states of mind can be controlled by the power of definite purpose backed by definite action. To overcome fear, Hill offers several strategies. First, recognize that fears are usually based on negative imaginings about the future, not present reality. Most of what we fear never happens. Second, develop the habit of facing your fears directly. Action is the antidote to fear. As Hill puts it, indecision and fear make up the twin enemies of human accomplishment. Third, use autosuggestion to reprogram your mind. By repeatedly affirming positive beliefs and visualizing positive outcomes, you can gradually replace fear with confidence. Fourth, maintain physical health. Hill noted that poor physical health often contributes to fear and negative thinking. Fifth, find a purpose greater than yourself. When you're focused on serving others or achieving something meaningful, personal fears diminish in importance. Hill's most powerful insight about fear is that it's usually self-created and self-sustained. We have the power to break this cycle through conscious thought control and definite action. The power of faith and cosmic habit force. In the final sections of Outwitting the Devil, Hill explores 2 powerful concepts: faith and what he calls cosmic habit force. Faith, according to Hill, is not merely religious belief, but a state of mind where one connects with infinite intelligence. He describes it as the head chemist of the mind that can transform ordinary thoughts into spiritual forces. The devil in Hill's narrative admits, faith is the only agency through which the cosmic force of infinite intelligence can be harnessed and used by man. Hill identified several types of faith: faith in oneself, faith in other people, faith in infinite intelligence, faith in something greater than oneself. Developing faith requires regular nurturing through affirmation, visualization, and action consistent with your beliefs. Hill suggests that faith grows stronger when tested by adversity, which is why many successful people cite their greatest challenges as turning points. Connected to faith is Hill's concept of cosmic habit force, the universal tendency toward habit that governs all natural law. Just as planets move in established orbits and seasons follow predictable patterns, human thoughts and actions tend to fall into habitual patterns. The key insight is that we can harness this force by consciously establishing positive habits. Once established, these habits become nearly automatic, propelling us toward success with minimal conscious effort. Hill writes, any thought or physical movement which is repeatedly carried out in the same manner tends to become permanent and fixed. This is the way habits are formed. By understanding and working with cosmic habit force rather than against it, we can align ourselves with universal laws and accelerate our progress toward our definite purpose. Napoleon Hill's Outwitting the Devil remained hidden for over 70 years, yet its wisdom feels incredibly relevant today, perhaps even more so than when it was written. In our age of constant distraction and information overload, the danger of drifting is greater than ever. Many of us move through life reactive rather than proactive, pulled along by notifications, social media, and the expectations of others. Hill's message serves as a powerful wake-up call. We can break free from negative influences, take control of our minds, and chart our own course toward success and fulfillment. The key lessons from Outwitting the Devil are timeless. Define your purpose with absolute clarity. Make decisions promptly and definitively. Go the extra mile in everything you do. Face and overcome your fears. Develop faith in yourself and something greater. Harness the power of habit to work for you, not against you. Remember, as Hill would say, your mind is your own. No outside influence can control it without your permission. By applying these principles, you can truly outwit the devil in your own life. If you found value in this deep dive into Napoleon Hill's hidden masterpiece, please hit that like button and share this video with someone who needs to hear this message. Subscribe to Self-Made Zone for more content exploring the timeless wisdom of success literature and how to apply it in today's world. Let us know in the comments which principles from Outwitting the Devil resonated with you most, or which success author you'd like us to cover next. Until next time, remember, your mind is your own. Use it wisely.